My name is Salima Tobari and I'm from West Africa, Guinea-Conakry. And I think that the US endorses the white ethnicity more, just because when the US was founded, it was founded by white British men, and this country is found on the basis of white principles, and you know, that's just what this country is based upon. Um, I think that my ethnic group endorses the African American community more because when you come to this country, you're not divided into being African or Black, you're combined into one group. So our struggles are all the same. So we're automatically categorized as African Americans. Therefore, that's why my ethnic group endorses African Americans more.
To be honest, I think the ethnicity that's most endorsed, obviously, is the Caucasian group, and I say that because when we look at the movies, and we look at these commercials, and basically these day-to-day little subliminal things, or we look at the dolls. I can't remember specifically, but there was this experiment back, I think it was I believe it was the 1960s or 70s, where they showed uh, dolls to a group of children, and they were showing them the white doll, and they would talk about how pretty the white doll was, and they showed them the black doll, and they would talk about how unattractive and unappealing the black doll was, and basically that's what they've been programmed to think. It's that self hate that's been institutionalized, and it's like for these black kids, it's like if all you see being endorsed is someone that doesn't look like you, uh, how can you really empathize? How can you really build your ambitions and be what you want to be? I think that's why Black Panther was really beneficial towards everyone.
Between life back home and life in America because I was only back home until the age of 2, and from 2 to now I've been in the United States. So most of my life and most of my experiences have been in the United States. Therefore, I really don't remember how life was so much back home.
Well, my life changed from back home to living here in the United States again. The fact that I became more appreciative of what I had. I realized that being here in America, being born and raised in America, kind of gave me a certain level of privilege, a certain levels of opportunity, not really open to my peers back home. So it kind of made me more appreciative. It kind of made me, value the opportunities that I've been given, no matter how little they are. The fact that I've still been given them, I still have that extra push over kids who are either as intellectual as me, or maybe even more intellectual. Um, Back home, I met people. Some kids were, who they were just their brain power was just out of this world. But it's just the fact that they didn't really have the opportunities. So they didn't have no sponsors. They didn't have the resources that I got. So I learned to be appreciative.
A cultural difference that is back home that it isn't here in America so much is that back home, because I'm from Africa, we're all black, and we don't see each other and classify each other by different races or different ethnicities. Whereas here in America, you do have Hispanic, Latino, Black, Asian. You have white, Caucasian, depending from where you're from and the different background that you have. So that's something different that's here. That's not back home.
One big cultural difference I noticed in my country, Gambia, that was different from here was that literally over there, it's like they live this slogan that it takes a village to raise a child, and they really mean that. Here, a stranger sees a kid, doing something that they shouldn't be doing. He or she is not gonna, he or she is just not gonna like stop them. They're just gonna go about their business. They're like, it's not my kid. But back home, your elders, they see you doing something bad. It's like regardless of whether they know you or not, they'll discipline you, or at the very least, they'll talk to you and tell you what you're doing. You shouldn't be doing this and that and the third, because they live by this model where it takes a village to raise a child. You know what I mean? Like you're not raised by just your parents. You're literally raised by the community, and I really significantly noticed the difference. That's why I try to implement that when I came back here. How I try and just look out for my community more. Try and just be that village for others.
I would say that my transition to America was smooth. I really don't remember it that much because I was only two, but I'm assuming everything went smooth and swiftly, and I got into the hang of everything. As for believing that this country has diversity, I feel like it lacks diversity because this is a country where a lot of different people come from. There are a lot of different backgrounds and ethnic views and religions. So it becomes hard to try to incorporate everything and try to make everything equal on a general platform.
Well, my transition from back home to here, because like I was, even though I was born here, I spent like 5 years over there, so you know I got accustomed to their lifestyle. So coming back here, it was a smooth transition for me. Well, I can't really call it transition because like I was more or less the same person. I was just wiser, open to uh, the world, but I was still the same me. I was still the same Americanized kid, just a little bit. You know, I still knew how American traditions worked and whatnot. So it was not really difficult for me to, you know, I guess simulate back into, well, not simulate, but you go with the flow of the American society, and I believe that there's not so much equality as we may say on paper. It's like it's like what Martin Luther King has said before. He said, well, the thing we say to America is stay true to what you said on paper. You know, it's easy for us to say that, oh, equality this, affirmative action that, but when it really comes down to it, I mean, as we see, it's like, if you're driving while black, you're drinking coffee while black, you're still getting the police called up on you. That means uh there's still certain aspects to which people don't really hold you to that standards of which they consider you as human beings having their own uh free will of being entitled to respect, etc., etc.
One positive and negative thing to staying within your ethnic enclave is that positive is that you are surrounded by people that have similar belief systems and ideas and customs as you, so you don't feel misplaced. You always feel like you're welcomed, and you always feel like you have a say in what's going on. One negative thing is that when you're always surrounded by the same group of people, you have that their same mentality and same perspective. So sometimes you don't see stuff differently. So therefore, going out of your ethnic enclave is can be positive because you get to have a different point of view and a different perspective to life.
Well, while it is for the most groups stay with the ethnic social groups, the perks of that is that you learn your culture, you're enmeshed with people that you learn your language, where you come from, and it's like you carry on the tradition. The downside of that is that that's all you know, and sometimes it's really difficult for people like who stay with one ethnic group to really understand the plight of others and really understand the culture of others and really to be open to others. You know what I mean? I try to be as open as possible. I have black friends. I have Greek friends, friends from France, Spain, Europe. I have Armenian friends. I have Algerian friends. I have Albanian friends. I have Bangladeshi friends. I have Saudi Arabian friends, Palestinian friends, so on and so forth. You know, it's like I kind of learned on my own that just staying with my own ethnic group is not really gonna cut it.